is listening intently because I know that this is a very serious problem. And I wanted to make sure what the bottom lines are. I believe that the bottom lines must be secured first. How much do we actually owe? Originally, if BSIS were to take over the fund, the amount would be about 5.57 trillion pesos. That would be the value of trust fund, according to a GSIS actual study as cited in 2017 fiscal risk statement. However, in 2018, we increased the salaries of our soldiers, which means that this will dramatically increase the 5.57 trillion to maybe about 7 to 8 trillion pesos, something that we do not have in our pocket. Now, Mr. President, I think it is important to understand that we cannot just give people something that we don't have, and that must be realized by everyone right away. However, for the sergeant majors, which was referred to by my good friend Senator Bato, there was only going to be a few sergeant majors that were going to be retained to ensure continuity of training, because the sergeant majors are the ones really running the rank and file of the military, and we don't want to lose their experience. We're not going to retain all the sergeant majors. We're just going to retain a few of them so that we can handle that. But the bottom line really is to look for money upon which we can pay this on the longer run, Mr. President. Well, the only way we can look for money is to bring in investments, enrich the country so that we can strengthen the military. That is an action that has been done by the Japanese, by the Koreans, by the Chinese, and by everybody. So until we don't increase the economy, we're not going to be able to pay right away our military. So what do we do? I'm going to be very frank at the risk of being severely criticized by some of my friends who run the Armed Forces Retirement Board. When the Armed Forces Retirement Board was run, Mr. President, it was run to the ground. And the truth of the matter is, we lost a lot of money from the Armed Forces Retirement Board. Now, sundalo na yan nagpapatakbo niyan na wala pa yung pera. In addition to this, in 1948, the original retirement age of the military was really 60 years of age. Now, President Marcos made the compulsory retirement of all AFP officers from 60 and brought it down to 56 years old. Obviously, that put pressure on our pension system. Now, we really have to do a combination of looking for money and making adjustments on the retirement age, and at the same time, trying to figure out a situation where we can get our military well paid. However, if we really want them to be paid well, all of us will have to put our heads together. It behooves all of us, uniformed and civilian, to come out and find out what are the bottom lines. What can we really afford? If we give it to the GSIS, I'm in favor of having a separate fund undertaken by the GSIS, pero cuentas claras. It will be run by an experienced group of people with actuarials who will be able to handle the fund very, very well. And that is why it is so important that we carry a little and be very, very careful. Because if we make a mistake here, a lot of people can be, cajoled by demagogues to say, oh, you see, the government doesn't take care of our military. Well, in fact, there are other things that we can do. For an example, we're going to start, and I'm in favor of this, conscription. Having young people take a 2-year sabbatical in the military. And I think if we do that, it will be a great equalizer. So we are looking at a cocktail of solutions here, Mr. President. The first is to really increase the retirement age to 60 and make sure that we have a chief of staff that can make policy for the next 3 years so that there is continuity and consistency in the way we run our military. All I'm saying is should really put all the financial minds of the people together and maybe come out even with the suggestion that the retirement pay will be given but on a delayed basis until the economy is corrected. This is another reason why we have to improve our economy, get more businesses to come out. And that's why I worry about bringing down the corporate income tax just like that, because we were going to have to look for another set of money to look for money for the corporate income tax that will be reduced. That's why we have to be really, really careful these days, Mr. President. With the pandemic upon us, with all the expenditures we're making, labas lahat yan. Walang bumabalik na pera dyan. So pagka ganyan ang labas, nawawaldas ang pera na hindi naman natin gustong mawaldas pero kailangan natin bigyan ng tao ng suporta. And so it is important, to my mind, that we carry a little and let's do it step by step and continue the TWG every day until we're able to find out what kind of solutions we can have. Thank you, Mr. President, and I hope I did not step on anybody's toes. Thank you very much.